Here come the Tigers.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tiger Talk. I'm your host, Puda, the voice of the Tigers, with Coach Dre Trosclair.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, too, for this football season. So we'll jump into some questions right away.
Yeah.
And some things I wanted to ask you.
No doubt.
I don't know I asked you this on Media Day, but how does it feel to be back in Thibodaux?
I mean, it's a great feeling. Obviously, it's where I'm from. Got a lot of ties to this school, throughout my family. My whole family played here. So
My quarterback.
I'm really excited just to be back in this community. And the school's been great. Obviously, from the administration, Miss Rebecca Abear, she's done a great job since I've been here, just kind of helping me out with everything that I need, making sure that we get started off in the right direction. Coach Tony Clark, our athletic director, has done a great job, but just making sure that, I'm in a position to be successful. So, I mean, I really can't thank both of those two enough about what they've done for me and, my initiation process to being here. And then, just the kids that are working really hard every single day. From the second I stepped on campus, I feel like there's just been a ton of buy-in from our guys, and hopefully we're about to see the benefits of that, because we have been working hard since I stepped on campus. Obviously got here late January, early February, and then from spring ball through the summer, now through fall camp, going into our scrimmage tomorrow. They've just done everything I've asked of them, so I'm excited to see how we're going to look.
And that was actually one of the questions I had. How's the staff and students embrace you so far? But so you answered that with the staff. How about, have you met like a lot of the non-football students? Like, how are they embracing you?
No, the student body's been great. I mean, I think everybody has really welcomed me with open arms. Developed a lot of relationships. Obviously, with my classes, with the athletic PE, I see a lot of athletes that aren't just football players, but throughout the sports,
Right.
Whether it be swimming, cross country, baseball, basketball, track, soccer. I work out all those athletes within my classroom,
Right.
in the weight room. So I think that's been a great thing, just to kind of build a sense of continuity with the whole school, and they kind of get a sense of who I am and what I'm about. So I think that's been really great. And I know a lot of the students are excited about us playing football, because
Right.
they've been asking me early on this school year, hey, Coach, when's the scrimmage, this, that, and the other, when do we have our first home game? So, like, there's a lot of buzz just within the school about, what we have going on in our football program. So I'm really excited about that. And then also, man, just the teachers, our faculty
Right.
on campus has been awesome, just, making me feel at home, welcoming me. And, we got a couple new coaches on staff. They've done the same thing with them. Obviously, so it's just been a really welcoming experience, and I can't thank everybody enough for how cool they've been. But we also want to get in here and win some football games. That's
right.
what it's all about. So
That's right.
I mean, we've been working our tails off to get towards that. So
I know.
I'm excited with how it's going.
I know. I've been watching, and that's awesome that the whole school's embracing you. I didn't even know they had a swim team.
Yeah.
Sure didn't have that when I was back here, but. All right, so who has progressed the most since spring started?
Yeah, so I think offensively at the quarterback position, Braden Becknell has probably progressed the most from spring until now. Just, seeing the strides that he's made within the offense has been really well received by him. He's done a great job. And then even at the receiver spot, Bryson Woods was a guy who got to us a little later from track. But once he came in, he kind of hit the ground running. He's had a really good summer, and he's had a really good fall. So we're expecting a lot of things from him, and I could really name a ton of dudes, because obviously it's a new offense. It's a new system, things like that. So guys are kind of getting more comfortable with terminology, things like that. Cohen Gyro is going to be a guy that is going to be a do-it-all kind of player for us at the slot. He's going to move to running back. Amari Griffin's a guy that's going to do some special things for us at running back. He's only a sophomore. Kyron Foss, Dominic Blanchard. We just got a ton of guys on the outside in our skill positions that are really talented, that have come a long way since the fall, learning the offense, or since the spring rather. And then if you look at the defensive side of the ball, that's more of our, senior upperclassmen heavy side of the ball. We got a lot of juniors, a lot of seniors on that side of the ball that are going to play for us. Rashad Jackson's obviously a guy that stands out. He's a guy that's going to anchor our defense. He's going to lead the defense. Him and Brad Leonard, both captains on that side of the ball. And they've done a great job working with Coach Woods in his scheme, learning it, and really just getting the guys to rally around them. And the energy that both of those guys bring to practice is kind of contagious for the defense.
Definitely.
And Keemon Falls, he's a DB. He's committed to North Alabama. He's been doing a great job for us in the secondary. Both the safeties, Tyler England, Lawrence Bangira, both of those guys are really good football players. Had a heck of a spring. Expecting a lot of big things from them. And then even at the linebacker position, we've got so much depth with Derek Stepter, Tevin Martinez, Andre Jones. I mean, we got a lot of guys that can play different positions for us and kind of be versatile throughout our defense. Up front, we got Charles Howard. He's a sophomore defensive end. Jace Robertson, he's going to be a nose for us. Austin Jones, Trevon Hadley. I mean, we got a bunch of players that I'm excited about seeing. In the other cornerback position, Spencer Conrad. He's a really good player for us, just a sophomore. So, I mean, we got a lot of guys that I'm excited about seeing on that side of the ball that I know. And obviously, you go back to the spring game, defense had a heck of a game. Defense has looked really good so far in fall camp. So we're excited about them, seeing them go against somebody else and see, what we actually have. Because, I mean, obviously we've been going against each other for a long time now. Our guys are really excited to go play somebody else and see a different color jersey.
It's always nice to hit somebody else, though.
No doubt.
Always nice.
No doubt.
And I wanted to ask you, you brought up a couple of names, but I wanted to ask you about a couple. So I'll start on offense with Braden, sophomore quarterback.
Yep.
Young guy. But one thing I've noticed from the first couple practices I've watched with spring to the last week, it seems like he's gaining a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
He's getting the playbook down. And what are your expectations for him as a quarterback?
I mean, I think he's going to do a great job for us. I really do. I think the biggest thing for him was gaining confidence. See a ton of
I
that.
told him that at practice the other day.
I think the biggest thing you see from him, difference-wise from the spring till now, is just his confidence in himself, his confidence in his ability, and the throws that he's making. He's got a lot more velocity on his throws, but I don't think it's because anything happened drastically with his arm strength. I think he's more confident in what he's doing.
Right.
So, when he sees something pop open, he's hammering it right now. So I think that's been a big, big thing of his progression. It's just how he feels about the way he's playing the game and the way he's going about things. And he's even developing it into a guy who early on as a sophomore, he's already telling, if the running back's on the wrong side, he can get them to the right side. He can make sure that we're in different positions that we need to be in, which is going to be really important. We've installed only portions of our offense so far heading up into the scrimmage, but there's a lot of things that we need to get to before we play Lutcher in week 1, where he's going to be able to have to check us out of certain situations, and we're going to count on him as a sophomore to be able to do that. So we only got 2 weeks to make sure we can get into situations where we feel comfortable. Hey, if they got a shade to this side and a 3 technique to this side and we're running a certain play, we need to be able to flip it and come the certain way that we want to go. And he's going to be the guy that's going to be able to get to the line and do that for us. But the way that he's progressed, I think he's well on his way to get to
Right, and that comes with practice.
Yeah.
That comes with a scrimmage Friday, tomorrow night. And it comes with, you get a jamboree next Friday.
Yeah.
So he's got a few weeks.
No doubt. And I'm excited to see him kind of build a rapport with his offensive line.
Right.
He's got 5 guys in front of him that, we've kind of mixed and matched a little bit from pieces in the spring. We moved certain guys from center, moved Carter from center to guard, moved Jackson from guard to center. Skylar and Bob have both stayed at tackle, and then Gary Williams is at the other guard. And then we've also been rotating a couple of guys in camp just because, injuries are a part of football. So we're like, what 2 linemen can we count on to be there if something happens to any of the guys up front? Who can be our swing guys that can play guard, center, tackle, things like that? So we feel good about where we are up front. We've made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks up front and in the things that we're doing. So I'm kind of excited about going to see those guys play somebody besides our defensive line and linebackers as well. Because I really do feel highly about our defensive line and linebackers setup. So to go play somebody else and see where we really stack up against a different team is going to be exciting.
But like I talked to him a lot at practice, and like I said, I told Braden, you just get that confidence. You are running this offense. You're playing the hardest position in football because not only do you have to know what you do in every play, you have to know what your receivers doing, your running backs doing, your linemen are doing,
and you also got to know what defense they're in,
what defense,
what coverage they're in, where the blitz is coming from, IDing what backer
and
we're
that all comes with repetition. It all comes with practice, and I'm sure Mike throws different shit at him and
definitely.
Can we curse?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be all right.
Different stuff to him in practice, so I know I've been watching y'all defense in spring, and they look. Like you said, they look good.
Yeah.
So that helps your offense going up against them every day.
Right.
So,
I mean, like you said, we got a young offense. So obviously having a defense that can kind of anchor our football team, get us a bunch of 3-and-outs, get us the ball back, is going to be a big thing for us. So, I mean, we're relying on the defense heavily. But, just because we're not a very experienced offense, it doesn't mean that we lack talent. We just lack experience. Because, we got a bunch of talented guys over there.
Talent.
So we're excited to see those guys go play. And tomorrow, tomorrow's our first test. I think everybody's really, really excited just to go play somebody else.
I hope so.
To get off of our practice field and go somewhere new and just kind of try something different and see what we look like against somebody else.
If you can't get excited for that, you probably shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I don't have a rah-rah speech for those guys tomorrow because – if you're not excited to go play somebody else for the first time this year, I can't put that in you. It's just got to be in you,
That's the truth. But, all right, the second play I wanted to ask you about on defense is Rashad Jackson.
Yeah.
Big personality.
Definitely.
Funny. Big hitter.
Yeah.
So, what do you expect from him this year?
So, I mean, he's a team captain voted on by his teammates. He's just been a guy, since I've been in here. He's embraced me. We've got a great relationship. And I think he's going to be a really, really good football player. I'm excited to see what this season does for his future. I really think he's a guy that can play at the next level. I think he deserves to be able to play at the next level. So I think this year is going to be a true testament to, what kind of football player he truly is. So, I mean, you're going to see him at the Mike linebacker position. He's going to anchor our defense. He's going to get us in the right spots. He's going to make the right checks and the right calls for us based off of formation and the things that we're seeing. Him and Coach Woods have worked really closely together to kind of know his defense frontwards, backwards, and forwards. And he's just a guy, man, he works his tail off. It doesn't matter what we're doing, if it's in the weight room, in the film room, in the meeting room. No matter what we're doing on the practice field, he gives it 100% no matter what he's doing. And that's guys that you really love to coach because, that's not coachable. That's not teachable. Sometimes that's just some stuff that you either have or you don't. And he's one of those guys that he's a pleasure to coach because he's always got his on switch on. He doesn't really ever know how to turn it off.
And that's a teammate you want to.
And that's somebody that you want to play with as a teammate. No doubt.
Every practice I've been to, he comes talk to me. He's like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And I talk to him. He's a clown.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. Obviously, I love that about him.
Right.
But I could see him.
He knows when to turn it off and on, though. Yeah.
And I was talking to the other day, and I was like, bro, you this is your defense.
There's no doubt.
You're the defense. You run this defense. He's like, that's what everybody keeps telling me. I got to be the leader. I was like, but you don't have to be the leader by. You don't have to get in people's faces and say, you should have did it.
Right.
Just, talk to them this is what we did, blah, blah, blah. I said, and then you also lead them by your play.
Yep.
When you making plays, they are looking up to you. They know they can count on you.
No doubt.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, he's definitely one of those guys that we're going to lean on a lot, and the defense is going to lean on. And he does a good job leading by example. He really does. He's out there giving it 100%. So when you see him doing that, and he's a guy who's in a position of, authority, he's a senior, he's a captain, and he's doing it the right way, it kind of makes the younger guys look like, well, hey, if he's a guy that's got to do it the right way all the time, then that's what I got to do, and I got to follow.
It makes it easy to be a leader.
It does.
And
it does.
They want
to hold
follow.
everybody else accountable.
Exactly.
Which is what you need to be a good football team.
All right, let's get into what kind of offense and defense will you run this year?
All right, yeah. So offensively, we're going to be spread, but we're going to be multiple. So I mean, you'll see us in anything from 2x2 twins to trips to empty. We'll get in some nub tight end sets. We'll get in double tight end sets. We'll get in the eye. We'll run ace. There's not a formation that you can throw out that we're not
Right.
going to be able to run and that we won't be able to have. And the reason we do that is just to keep defenses off balance. If you've got a ton of stuff to prepare for at the high school level, you don't have all day like in college to where you can just game plan from sun up to sundown.
Right.
Like you got to teach a class during the day, so you only got a limited amount of time to be able to prepare. So the more stuff that we give to other teams, I think the better suited our offense is to have success. We're going to shift a bunch out of different formations to new formations. We're going to motion a bunch after we shift. So we're just going to try to keep people off balance. We're going to try to be, as balanced as we can. But we dictate our offense based off of our personnel. So, I mean, and based off of who we're playing, too, and what they're giving us. So, I mean, if it needs to be a pass-happy game because they're giving us the pass, trying to take away the run with a loaded box, we'll do that. If they open up the box and try to cover us up, then we'll run the football. If they're giving us a balanced look, we're going to do based off of what the defense is giving us, and we're going to take advantage of the numbers game. But, yeah, we're going to be very multiple in what we do offensively. And then looking at the defense.
And you call the plays.
Yeah, I'm the offensive coordinator.
You're offensive coordinator. Right.
And then defensively, it sounds just like the offense, but we're going to do a bunch of stuff.
Right.
We're going to line up. We're going to base out of the 3-4. We'll get in 3-3 stack against some teams versus certain formations. We'll run an over front. We'll run an under front. We're going to run a bear front. We're going to run cover 3, cover 2, cover 1, man. I mean, we're going to do a bunch of stuff. We'll run split coverages where we're running cover 3 to this side, cover 2 to this side. It's just a ton of different things that we're going to throw at people to give them to prepare for. And I think that's going to give us an advantage against some of our opponents. I really love the staff that we have together. Coach Woods is a guy that I brought in, played ball with in college. And he's done such a great job, man. Just coming in here.
Intense.
And he's intense. He's full of energy. The kids love him. Everybody on campus loves him. He's got one of those attractive personalities where
Definitely.
a lot of people just drawn to him and what he brings to the table. But it's also because he works his tail off. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like the kids know he works his tail off, so they know if he's working, they got to be working. And that's just kind of one of the things we're trying to rub off on our football team is if they're seeing us get after it each and every day and doing everything we can to put them in positions to be successful, they're going to give that back to us. You know what I mean? They're going to work their tails off to make sure that the work that we're putting in is worth it. And it's just been it's been a great thing so far having him here. I can't say enough about my staff. Some of the guys I inherited, some of the guys we brought in. But just as a staff as a whole, I mean, we got a great group of guys. We got 11 total guys on staff, and then 12 with J-Rock as a trainer, who obviously he's a Hall of Fame athletic trainer. So he's going to get the guys back healthy and ready to go as soon as he can. As a staff as a whole, man, I'm so happy with the way that these guys are working and getting after it each and every day. Even with, changing up the schedule, like we can't go after school because of how hot it is. So, I mean, we're staying here literally from, 6:45 in the morning. We don't finish practice till 8 o'clock by the time we watch film and do different things. And sometimes we get out of here at 9, 9:30, almost 10 o'clock. It's like, that's asking a lot of these guys.
Dedication.
And they've adapted to it. They hadn't complained. They hadn't said one word other than, okay, let's go, let's get after it. And, whatever we got to do to be successful, let's do it. So, I'm really happy with where we are in the first year of our program. And I can't wait to see us continue to build on it because we're setting some really good stepping stones to go forward with.
And that, what you just said, that is like what I told Rashad. You lead by example. They believe in you. So it seems like your staff believes in you. Like they believe what you teaching, what you coaching. They believe in your system.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
I mean, it is. And that's another thing, both me and Mike, we come in, bring in different systems. We promoted Coach Lou Alcazar, our special teams coordinator. But, it hadn't been a ton of questions as to why we're doing this.
Right.
It's more questions as to how can we improve on the things that we're doing. And that's been great, man. Like, everybody's just embraced the change and embraced the different things that we're doing and the way we're going about stuff. and just trying to hold our guys accountable and making sure they know why we do the things that we do, why it's important to be at meetings on time, why it's important to have meetings, why is it important to have installs and things like that. All the different things that we're doing are for a purpose. And, you know, the more that they realize that, I think the better off we're going to be overall as a whole as a football team.
I love it. All right, well, let's talk about the scrimmage tomorrow night at South Terrebonne.
Yep.
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock at South Terrebonne. What do you hope to get out of the scrimmage?
So I really want to get, obviously, so I'll talk a little bit about the format of the scrimmage. So it's going to be scripted where, you know, we have a controlled portion where the ones, you know, the first defense versus their first offense going to go for 12 plays. Then the second team is going to go for 10. Then our first offense is going to get on for 12. Our second 0 for 10. Then we're going to switch down to a kickoff return period. We're going to go to a red zone period. We're going to go to where the red zone period will have 8 plays from the plus 30. Then the 2s will have 6. Then our 1s will have 8. Their 2s will have 6. We get into a punt return situation. And then we have a live quarter for 12 minutes to finish the scrimmage. So that's the format, which really gives us a ton of plays. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get 24 in the first session with the 1s and 20 with the 2s. And then 16 and 12 with the 1s and 2s in the second session before the live quarter. Right. So we're going to be able to get a lot of people on tape. So being able to evaluate both our first group and our second group is going to be really important to what we want to do. And then obviously I just want to see our guys compete. I want to see how they deal with adversity. You know, if the first 3 plays don't go well for us on defense, offense, special teams, whatever it may be, whenever things aren't going our way, how do we react on the sidelines? Are we pointing fingers at each other? Or are we lifting each other up? Like, that's kind of the stuff that I really want to evaluate and see. What are we doing? How do we handle this? But then also I want to see how we handle success. Right. When we're having success, are we showboating, or are we coming back to the situation in the huddle and saying, this is what we're supposed to do, this is what we do on a daily basis, let's just go play football and continue to play football. So I'm kind of looking more at like mannerisms or body language. How do things go when things are up, when things are down? Are we even keel? And I really want to evaluate that. But then obviously, you know, we need to evaluate the football play and see, you know, is the O-line doing what they're supposed to be doing? Skill position. How many busts do we have? Like, I can live with busts with like mental errors. What I can't live with is laziness and loafing. And like, are we just not getting there because we didn't give effort, or did we really not know what we were doing, but we were giving 110%? So that's kind of really what we're going to evaluate tomorrow and just see where we are as a football team against somebody else. And I think if we can come out of that evaluating all those things and then obviously come out of it healthy, that's a big thing too. Hopefully we can get out of there with minimal amounts of injuries, hopefully no injuries. That's going to be important as well. Because like I said, I think we're a talented football team. I don't know how deep we are. I don't know how much depth we've, you know, been able to develop so far. And then we already got bumps and bruises right now, you know, within camp. We already got a couple guys that aren't going to play tomorrow. That's football. And it's football. You know, you're never going to feel 110% during the season. You know, if you can get to 80, 85, that's going to feel like 100% because, like you said, it's a physical game, especially at this level. You know, at the 5A level with the schedule we're going to play and the teams we're going to play, we better get ready to pack a lunch because it's not ever going to get easier for us. It's going to be the same thing each and every week, and we just got to be ready to come to the table, ready to work.
That's right. What do you know about South Terrebonne? Who's their standout players?
Yeah, so, you know, defensively, they're going to run a 3-4 cover 2 read quarters type coverage in our 2x2 sets. And then pretty much everything else we do, they're going to run an under front to the strength of our formation, playing either cover 2 read or quarters behind it. They send some edge pressures. They do a couple twist games. But, you know, defensively, obviously in the scrimmage with the film that we've got so far, I mean, it's not a super advanced defense yet. You know what I mean? And it's something that we're prepared for. We are prepared for different stunts and twists that they bring at us. But we think, you know, defensively, we think we're gonna know what looks we're getting based off of what sets we're in. So that's kind of how our script is tailored towards. You know, they got a couple of really good players at the linebacker position. Number 16 is pretty good for him. He runs sideline to sideline really well. Number 30, who's an overhang defender, kind of outside linebacker, safety hybrid. He's a good player for him. They got a couple good defensive linemen that got good motors. So it's going to be a challenge for us.
Yeah.
You know, we're excited to go see, you know, and this is a guy that this is a team that's finished off the season with 4 wins last year. They won 4 in a row to finish their year and end up 5-5. So, you know, they got a lot of momentum going into their spring and into their fall camp based off of how well they finished the year last year. You know, offensively, they run a lot of H-back stuff. They run, you know, kind of similar to us, some multiple formations, a bunch of different looks. So they're going to give us stuff to be prepared for. Well, I think we did a good job all week in practice, kind of preparing for that. And then the amount of stuff that we do offensively, I think it prepares our defense to see a lot of different formations and a lot of different sets. So, you know, and they got a bunch of good guys offensively as well. You know, they're going to hand it off to the same guy a bunch of times. He's kind of their bell cow running back, and they can spread the ball out to a multitude of different receivers. Got a big O-line up front, so I think, you know, our defensive line is going to have to prove themselves with how they can get after the quarterback. That's kind of something that we're excited to see how well, you know, we can get there with maybe just a 3-man pressure. You know, do we get pressure with 3 or do we have to send more? So there's a bunch of different things we're going into this looking to evaluate and make sure that, you know, we do a good job of. And then in the special teams game, like I mentioned, we'll do special teams, but the returners won't be live. So the protection on punt is going to be live. The rush is going to be live.
Right.
The returner won't. So we'll get to see how well are we protecting our punter, giving him time to get it off. Our kickoff team is going to be able to get down there, stay in their lanes. How well do they stay in their lanes on tape? What kind of corrections do we need to make before we go and play, you know, Ellender next week in the Jamboree and then Letcher in week 1? So there's a lot of stuff that we're looking to prepare for. But I think this is a really good opponent for us to go and kind of get our first taste of somebody else with.
I love it. As long as it's a different opponent, it's going to be nice.
It will.
I'm excited.
I like getting on the road, too. You know what I mean? I like being able to get on the road, go out of our comfort zone, kind of see how we act, you know, traveling with a road game.
Yes.
What are we going to be like, you know, prior to leaving? How's our itinerary going to work? If we get off schedule by a little bit, why did that happen? Things like that. Because I'm very meticulous in our schedules and being in the right places at the right times and things like that. So, you know, as the guys are getting used to me, I'm kind of getting used to them as well. So it's a little bit of a give and a take.
Yeah,
but I'm excited to see how it works for our first road trip.
It's a whole learning process for everybody right now.
No doubt.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a new day at Thibodaux High.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm
excited
excited about tomorrow.
I'm excited.
I'll be there, of course.
No doubt.
Anything else you want to say?
No, man. I just want everybody to, you know, come out and support us. Obviously, whether we're at home or on the road, I think we got a bunch of guys in our locker room that deserve you guys' support.
Yes.
So, you know, come out and see us no matter where we're playing. Obviously, tomorrow night at South Terrebonne, 6 o'clock. I think we're going to have, you know, a lot of good things for you guys to come see. We're going to put a really good brand of football on the field. So the more people in the stands that are there, you know, the merrier.
It's definitely a buzz in Thibodaux, and I hope to see a bunch of y'all out there tomorrow night. I know I'll see y'all for sure for the home game.
No doubt.
Next week at the Jamboree, it's at Central.
At Central versus Ellender on Friday.
At Central.
6 o'clock.
But, yeah, we'll be there. But I better see y'all, a bunch of people for that first home game for sure.
Yep.
And that'll be what,
Week 3 versus St. James.
Yes.
Week 3 versus St. James.
You know they have a crowd for that.
No doubt. No doubt.
But
on the road, week 1 versus Letcher. On the road, South Lafourche, and then come back home, first home game versus St. James.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. And
Thursday night next week.
Thursday night next week. I'll post a link to our Tiger Talk YouTube page because we need at least 50 subscribers, and we'll probably do the show live from YouTube when we get that. If not, I'll either keep taping them like this or we'll go live on Facebook. We'll figure it out. Hey, that's a learning process with us too.
No doubt.
This is our scrimmage tonight.
Yeah,
so.
First show, scrimmage. We learn as we go as well. But yeah, if you guys could go and subscribe to the Tiger Talk YouTube page, if we get 50 of them, obviously we'll be able to go live. And we would like to go live. That way you guys can watch as we're coming on. You can kind of see our reactions live. And I think it'll be a good thing, you know, just for our entire community to kind of put this on. And then, you know, it's just going to be something that we'll be able to build off of and just get better at. And these things will get better week to week as we go and as we learn, you know, what we're doing. And
we'll probably start doing the lives from different locations in Thibodaux, and you can come out and watch.
Yep, no doubt. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys, are just as excited as I am to come out and support our guys, and we're gonna put a good product on the field tomorrow night, and hopefully you guys are there to see it.
All right, that's
All right,
it.
That's it.
See you next week.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.